The average American spent $14,000 in income tax this year. I wonder where it all goes.
$850,000 for an LGBTQ senior housing facility located inside a former Wisconsin middle school. A $3 million grant for girl-centered climate action in Brazil. A $400,000 set aside for the Garden State Equality Education Fund, a transgender advocacy group boosting awareness for elementary age students changing genders. $1 million for the Inner City Muslim Action Network, whose staffers have repeatedly called Israel an apartheid state.
I'm sure it's for something really important.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Minuteman Crusades, the channel dedicated to bringing these weirdos down. So what the fuck do you think about backflip? Not only are they grooming kids, but they're using our tax dollars to do it. And it gets worse than that. Check this shit out.
So it's the first day of Pride Month and we're already starting with the craziness. Sesame Street posted from their official account, Happy Pride Month from Sesame Street. Join us in celebrating and uplifting the LGBTQIA plus members of our community. Now, what would be wrong with that? Sesame Street is primarily geared towards children between the ages of 2 and 5. Let me say it again, 2 and 5. This show is specifically designed to support early childhood development, focusing on kindergarten and preschool readiness skills like the alphabet, counting, shapes, and emotional regulation. I don't care what type of sexuality you're trying to gear 2 to 5-year-old children to. That is grooming. No child at that age should be subjected to any adults, corporations, or entities trying to form their opinions on sexuality. And that sentiment is absolutely reflected in the comments. People are sick of this shit, and they want you weirdos to leave our fucking kids alone.
How are we letting this shit happen? And it's not just the Democrats, the Republicans are complicit too. Otherwise, this shit would have been stopped a long time ago. At least Trump's doing one thing right. He's just kicking back the regulations on the TRT.
So the Trump administration is seeking to roll back the restrictions that have been placed on medical testosterone. Testosterone is the foundational hormone that makes men, but there has been a generational decline of testosterone that has been occurring for decades in men. So the men that are born today have a significantly lower amount of testosterone at the same age as men that were born even 10 years ago. Unfortunately, with how much generational decline of testosterone we're seeing in men, as men get older, TRT should just be par for the course. Unless you want to feel like some sad little lethargic bitch.
This is JD Delay. I'm gonna use a few of his shorts on this video, but if you haven't seen his content, go ahead and check it out. It's pretty dope. Anyways, these people are gonna keep getting away with this shit until we stop fighting each other and come together and hold them accountable. Because right now, these are the people that own the government.
You'll begin to see the world with greater clarity. Things start to make some kind of sense once you realize and accept 2 points about the elites who run this country, our betters, as they see themselves anyway. One is that they hate you and everything you stand for and everything you believe. This cannot be stressed enough. It's not a very pleasant thing to think about, but it's the truth. And it shouldn't be a breaking news bulletin either. I mean, after all, they're not exactly trying to hide it. They despise you, your family, your ancestors, on down the line. The second point is that they are both petty and creative. So they'll take advantage of every opportunity to humiliate and demoralize you, and they'll see such opportunities in situations that wouldn't have even occurred to you.
And I really thought we would see some major changes when Trump got in office. All that talk of draining the swamp, and we haven't seen a damn thing happen. And this shit is in our faces more than ever. No one's going to jail. No one's going to prison. And this is supposed to be what accountability looks like.
Why'd you help him?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please, we're all ears.
So first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help him?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you
Are you
help
going to let
him?
me answer?
Why did you help
You
him?
let me answer and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help him?
Now see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here voluntarily.
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help him? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience.
And they're cherry.
Yeah, they grill that dude or anyone else that's not part of the government. But whenever it's one of them, we never see anything. Not one charge. I feel like we live in a bizarre world where we're just letting this shit slide. They're committing treason over and over and over again. And I thought we were going to see some major changes when Trump got in office. All that talk of draining the swamp, and I was stoked about Kash Patel. Then he gets in office, and he completely flips the script immediately. Look at this shit.
Before you joined the FBI, you railed against it for covering up Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking ring. Let me refresh your memory with this clip.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So you finished that December 2023 interview with a challenge to the FBI and harsh words for Republicans in Congress for not getting the Epstein files out to the public. You can see this clip.
Boy pants, and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are, you said. Okay, so you were sworn in as director more than 200 days ago. Now the Black Book is under your direct control. So why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
The Rolodex, which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the Black Book, has been released.
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there.
That's
the Black
exactly
Book
what I
under
was
the
talking.
direct control of the FBI director.
It's obvious they've been compromised. Look at this.
If there's a real deal between the Americans and the Iranians, and it's going towards that, Netanyahu will try to sabotage it. One of the ways he'd sabotage it is by putting out Epstein material against U.S. government officials, including Trump.
Long before he ever signed his continuing cooperation agreement with the FBI, when he got those charges in Palm Beach, Florida, Creepy Jeff was working with Mossad. And that period of time when he was working with Mossad was when he was best friends with Donald Trump. So all of that stuff in those files that we got was from us. But the stuff that they have is bound to be way more damning. And besides the hundreds of millions of dollars that Miriam Adelson and AIPAC sunk into his campaign, now that he's in office, they have compromising materials to make sure that he stays in line with their agenda. That's why he's switched up on every single policy, and the people that surround him are all sympathetic to their cause.
And again, it's not just a Democrat problem, it's not just a Republican problem, it's our government. The whole government is known about Epstein and everything he was doing since before he caught his first charges in 2005.
The nation's biggest bank provided financial resources to Jeffrey Epstein for years, ignoring red flags about his activities all along the way. We reviewed about 13,000 legal documents and other filings to find out why this relationship went on for so long. When he came to the bank around 1998, he was a financial advisor to billionaires. Jess Staley, who was a top banker at JP Morgan for many years, basically became a very close friend of Jeffrey Epstein. In total, there were roughly 130 some odd accounts tied to Epstein. His accounts were worth a lot of money for the bank, but also there were these very large cash withdrawals, one as large as $175,000. When you have a client taking out this kind of money, someone shouldn't say, wait a minute, whoa, what's going on here? But this isn't just like a private client with lots of money. This is also someone who can do things for the bank if need be. There was this deal put together to buy a hedge fund called Highbridge. And Epstein sort of plays like a middleman in this deal. He got a $15 million fee, and it sort of cemented his value. 2005 becomes a pivotal year. Down in Florida, the parents of a 14-year-old girl file a police complaint saying Epstein sexually abused their daughter. At this point in time already, he withdrew about $1.7 million from the bank. Staley vouches for Epstein mainly by saying, look, it's outrageous to think that he'd be with teenage girls. By 2008, Epstein pleads guilty to a single charge of soliciting prostitution for a teenage girl. So the bank obviously has a quandary here. No one wants to buck Staley, so he ends up staying. Epstein is pleading guilty. He's still essentially running his sex trafficking operation. Wire transfers are still going through the bank. There's still cash withdrawals. The bank is still noticing them. By the end of 2010, Epstein is close to getting out of jail. Staley at this point is starting to be seen as the potential heir apparent to Jamie Dimon, the CEO. They extend an additional $50 million some odd in trading credits for Epstein. By 2011, the general counsel of the bank wanted to exit him. Epstein remains as a client.
They're on your bumper if you're $100 behind your income tax, but they let this shit happen for years. And now with just a few diversions, they got most of us to stop talking about it.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why they keep so many fucking balls in the air at the same time, is because you can't fight it all. You know, it's like, do you really care about the Epstein files, or do you care about UFO disclosure?
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, the UAPs? We're going to have a big meeting on Monday. We're going to have a big release on Wednesday. Like,
So
okay.
I think they took, to me, it seems pretty nefarious that they're like, say, oh, we got all these fucking dipshits worried about this roadless rule. Okay, we can distract some of them with aliens. We've got an alien stuff, all right? Okay. Oh, we could distract some of them with fighting. We got the White House fight coming up. Okay, and now all of a sudden now it's way quieter because they've distracted some of these core groups with this other bullshit, right? And it's the bread and circus thing. And
the media that talked for months about Trump calling a reporter a pig is silent about this stuff. Are we really gonna forget? Are we really gonna let this slide? Let these monsters continue to tax us while they're doing this heinous shit? Fuck no. If not, hit that subscribe. Let's do what our founding fathers would have done. You think they would have stood for this shit? Fuck no. They rebelled over a 2% tax on tea. Now we let these fucking chomos take half our income. We work from January to July for free. OG said it the best.
Young people, freedom is not free. Someone always has to pay the price. The price is high, but Americans have always been willing to pay it when necessary. My advice to you is to keep yourself prepared, because it may be your turn the next time freedom is threatened.
What is the punishment if somebody is convicted as a felon under having this piece of plastic?
If people are convicted of not following the Gun Control Act, it's a serious felony conviction, but that requires intent.
Can you just give me the number? Is it 10 years?
I believe it's a statutory maximum of 10 years.
10 years for owning a piece of plastic that you were told was legal and that you owned for a decade and that millions of people did? This is what offends the sensibilities of Americans, whether they own these or not.